Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty V Cards. In this episode, we're going to start a new series where we're going to be speculating on some players heading into the 2021 baseball season and on who I think could be a good buy and have good value and have their cards increase. The one disclaimer I want to throw out there is I am not recommending for you to spend money on players that you do not believe in or that you do not do your own research in. So make sure you look into these players aside from just my video and make sure they're people you want to buy. These are all players that I have considered buying cards of and I have bought cards of. It's about 10 hitters and 5 pitchers. I'm only going to do 3 hitters this episode and continue about 3 per episode so that way we can make sure we're not making these videos too long. All right, as you can see on my screen, we have 2 baseball reference pages up, so I want to compare Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. I think Jose Ramirez is criminally underrated, probably one of the most underrated players in all of baseball. The one thing I want to say is they're basically the same age. Ramirez is 28, Lindor is 27. On top of that, Ramirez and Lindor are both switch hitters. Ramirez is second baseman, Lindor is a shortstop, and Ramirez also plays third base. But my point is they're both infielders that are good defenders and switch hitters and both played in Cleveland. So moving forward, Jose Ramirez will now be the face of the Indians, as much as that's worth. Maybe Shane Bieber will be, while Lindor will be the face of the Mets. So let's look at their stats. Last year, Ramirez had a way better year than Lindor. Lindor had probably one of his worst years of his career, but Lindor is a kind of a streaky hitter, so is Ramirez. But Lindor just kind of had a streaky stretch where he was down, while Ramirez has had a solid season. But over the course of their career, Jose Ramirez has 28.1 WAR, Lindor has 28.7 WAR. Jose Ramirez has 127 stolen bases versus 99. Lindor has only 11 more home runs than Ramirez, 127 versus 138. Batting average, 281 versus 285. Basically the same player, only difference is 1 year. So let's go down to their little bit more in-depth stats, look at OPS plus and some of that as well. So here we are, OPS plus. Jose Ramirez has a career 123 OPS plus, while Lindor has a career 117 OPS plus. I do want to highlight with Jose Ramirez that the first 2.5 years in the league were not that good. You know, if you look right here on season 2014, he had an 81 OPS plus, meaning he was 20% below league average with his hitting. And then the next year, in 2015, he was a 69 OPS plus, so 31% below league average. This is mainly because he never got on base, he didn't really slug very much, had a decent batting average, except for in 2015. But overall, he's always had a decent batting average. But once you get to 2016, he just takes off. His OPS never dips below 800 again, and so we're gonna highlight that year and compare it to Lindor's 2016 to 2020, see who's been more dominant over that course of that time. So if we look, by far, Jose Ramirez has been more dominant since 2016. He's had an OPS plus of 133 versus an OPS plus of 117. He has a 119 versus 126 home runs, that's about the same. But overall, 290 batting average versus 281. More RBIs, more stolen bases. Overall, he's been a stud just like Lindor. I collect and personally collect Lindor, but Jose Ramirez does not get the love he deserves. But let's go look at his eBay. So if you type Jose Ramirez Topps 2014, that's his rookie year, you can find out his cards are cheap. You can pick up right here a Topps Chrome lot and a base card for 22 bucks, free shipping. You can get this Topps Chrome autograph for pretty cheap. You can get, this has 3 hours left, and it's a BGS 95 Walmart blue border for $11, probably ends around 30 or 40. Topps Chrome autograph PSA 9 is going to be probably below $80. And my point is his cards are cheap, and I think because he is so inexpensive, he is one of those players that you can buy and have not very much money into and still make a good amount of money off of them because he has room to go. Like right here, here's a gold border for $38.95, less than 40 bucks for a gold border, pretty crazy. Some of his stuff's just overpriced. Like here's a blue border for $39, another gold for less than 50 best offer. That one's in good condition. So the point is that you can get some of his cards for cheap, and I think it's a really low risk, high reward player. He is not super sexy like Lindor in the sense where Lindor is Mr. Smile and always in the All-Star games on interviews. Jose Ramirez just kind of does his own thing. So the next player I want to talk about is Giancarlo Stanton, and I know some people are not going to like I'm putting him in here, but I'll explain why. So the reason why I think Stanton is a good buy is because for the course of his career until the last few years, he's been good. You know, since he was 21, his lowest OPS plus is 118. He had an MVP, in 2017. He's been pretty dang solid. Career OPS of 144 means he's 44% above league average. He is on pace right now. If he could just play half his games in the next 10 years on his contract he will get to 500 home runs relatively easy. Just 25 homers a year for the next 10 years, he'll be there, which is very possible for Stanton. That's his main thing is power. He's never going to be a super high batting average guy. he's around 250 to 270. But overall, just the fact that he can probably get to 500 home runs, he's already at 41 WAR. I think he will get to that 60 WAR plateau where he needs to be in order to get into the Hall of Fame. He has a MVP under his belt, some All-Star games and Silver Sluggers, which helps as well. And they'll be on the Yankees, who will be competing. I would not be surprised if the Yankees win a World Series in the next few years, which will only help his case for Cooperstown. Let's try and scroll down and just look at who he's similar to. So Juan Gonzalez and Harmon Killebrew, those are great names. Darryl Strawberry is a great name. Acuna is similar to him at age 22. Most similar batters, Harmon Killebrew, Jim Tomei are the top two. They're both Hall of Famers. Reggie Jackson, Darryl Strawberry, Jose Canseco. He is just a very solid player, and people undervalue him because he's been hurt. If you look at his amount of stats the last few years, it's really underwhelming. I think he's played like a total of 50 games the last 2 years combined. He played 23 in 2020, I know that for sure, and 18 in 2019 with injuries. But when he's played, he's been good. Even those few years, he has a 137 and 144 OPS plus. So he is also a guy that I think is a good buy. But his prices are a little bit more expensive than Jose Ramirez because he is more proven and he plays for the Yankees and people are kind of speculating him already. So if you scroll down, you can find some really good deals. Like here's a Topps Chrome Refractor for $44. I haven't looked at the condition. That might be a turnoff. But if you look at Tatis or any of those big players, refractors, they're worth a lot more than $44. If you look at his autographs, you can get a Topps Chrome autograph for around $100 of him. There's going to be a lot more listed higher because people have probably lost their shirt on him because they bought really high when he traded to the Yankees. But there's a lot of really good deals on auctions and on best offers, around $100 for Topps Chrome autograph. Really good buy. So that is my second player, and my third player is Mr. Paul Goldschmidt. He is one of the most forgotten superstars in all of baseball. He was with the Diamondbacks. He was the face of the Diamondbacks. His nickname was America's First Baseman, just because he's a good guy, really solid player. He's always been good in MVP finishes. He was second twice, and he's been in the top 10 at least 2 other times. Tons of All-Star appearances. This last year, he had a fantastic year. His 2019 was underwhelming, but his 2020 was good. So for that shortened 60-game season, he got 2 WAR, and he hit 304 with 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, 142 OPS, actually right at his career mark. The thing about Paul Goldschmidt is he's going into his age 33 season, which means he is possibly going to decline. But if you go look at players like Joey Votto, he was around the same age when he was his very best. So there's still a chance Goldschmidt has a lot left in the tank. I think he does. Having Arenado behind him now in the lineup is only going to help. And with those two, Goldschmidt is going to probably get right back to his career averages. Right now, his projections are really weak. He's projected to hit 264 and have an 832 OPS. I think he will beat those projections, especially the batting average. But even if he has 25 homers, hits 264 with 832 OPS, that's great, because that will put him on pace to get to the Hall of Fame. He's at 45 WAR, like I said, right now. He needs to get around 60. That's 15 WAR. If he just has 4 WAR player for the next 3 years, he's essentially there. He's super close. And I think because he's with the Cardinals, he has a pretty long contract. Now that Arenado's there, once they make the playoffs, and if they're able to contend at all, his stuff will go up. He's super cheap. Let's compare him to some other players right now. I think of John Olerud a little bit when I think of Paul Goldschmidt, but John Olerud, he's a Hall of Fame really good guy, but I think Goldschmidt has been a little bit better. His peak has been better. So here is first baseman. So 7-year peak, that's where it takes your 7 best years of WAR and adds them together. He's almost right on line with the average Hall of Famer. Jaws, this will go up as he keeps going with his career. That includes his average of his 7-year and his total, so it's 42. But that will go up to about the average first baseman. He is very similar to Adrian Gonzalez, Jeff Bagwell, Jason Giambi, some pretty big names, Joey Votto. So I would say he's a good buy. I think he will get there. But this one is more of me just feeling good about a guy than anything else. So this one, I would just say, look at his cards because they're cheap. Right here, you can get his Bowman Chrome card for not expensive at all. Let's look up his Bowman Chrome Refractor. Great, right here. That's a purple refractor for 22 bucks. I actually think I might go after that one. Here's a refractor for $14.99. He doesn't have very many autographs. His pre-rookie autograph for $39. Bowman Chrome autograph for $130 your best offer. Get it for less than 100 bucks. He is just a low risk, high reward player. $155 for a PSA 9 for autographs. So I would look into his cards simply because they're so cheap. And he probably could get to the Hall of Fame. It's not a guarantee, but he is possibly on that path. Let's look at his Topps update cards. 50 bucks for a 9. This is a Cognac, Mike Trout's Cognac PSA 9 goes for about $8,000 from this exact same set. Paul Goldschmidt's about $100, and he's probably on a Hall of Fame path. Here's a PSA 9 for $39, the best offer. Probably can get it for 35 bucks. Here's a PSA 10 that'll probably finish for around 100 to 110. It's an hour and 52 minutes left. Today, I actually just bought a 2011 Topps Bowman Chrome Autograph PSA 9. So it was this exact card for only $100. So anyways, guys, those are the first 3 players I want you to consider looking into. The first 3 players that I think are going to have big years, and their cards will go back up to where they should be in comparison to other players and to where their past markets have been. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know down below who you think are some good players, and maybe I will look at them as well in the future. I have, like I said, about 7 more hitters and 5 pitchers I want to dive into. So appreciate it and have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.